7 books I love but never read. These are the books that are honored members of my book community that share my apartment, and I've never read them, but still I love them very much. And through these all I try to give you some impression on who I am and what can I contribute to all this collective experience. And these are mostly different stories. Let's start with poetry. It's a textbook and it's here to show the idea of poetry and its meaning for my life, because actually it was the first thing I ever tried creating a little poem with the help of my grandma, who just started writing down after me some words, and then I started realizing that they become more valuable and try to fixate. And also she showed me that the best way to help someone is to support someone. I used to write as if I was trying to add poetry to my life and to my stories, and it sounded like что-то одеть и куда-то идти. 1000 дней я на этом пути. 1000 раз я шел куда-то. Всегда доходил до точки возврата. And I started seeing poetry inside of the moment, since and when the moment actually becomes a story for me. And maybe the best manifestation of this feeling of words now is the next verse. Мы, чувак, как битники, читаем под шишками стихи, написанные под кислотой. И это, кстати, хорошее начало стиха. Я научился их узнавать. Joyce is my favorite actually, and his Ulyss is my favorite book, yet I have never managed to finish even half of it. But still, Joyce stands here for his insanity and his creative madness, and for his Finnegan's Wake, which he wrote in several languages, one of his own creation, and by the end of the book he was not remembering what he was meaning by his language, and so it's the essence of the concept of open text.
Away, you moldy rogue, away.
I love Proust for this concept of one life book. Still, he is such a genius writer that he manages put me asleep right with his text describing the balance between sleeping and not sleeping. And anytime I start reading his book, I just fall asleep. Merab Mambardashvili's Psychological Typology of the Way, and this is his course dedicated to Proust and his in the search of the lost time, the philosophical meditation over this text. It's like the second level of pleasure I imagine receiving after finishing the Proust's book.
I gotta go back and start over. Like a kid.
The rest is noise, is just simply brilliant naming, because this Gamlet's words put in the context of the music of the 20th century. It worked for me. I bought the book and I enjoyed the several few pages so much that I bought it once again, thinking that once I'll present it, did not make it through even the third of it. John Cage, with his Silence book, stands here for the music, because it's quite interesting and important part of my life. Yet I'm not a musician, but it's quite interesting for me to dig in and to find new music that actually led me to DJ. My partner, we tried playing some music, but it's appeared to be much more harder than it could be. Also, I'm into researching the influence of sound, questioning if anyone and all of us could experience some different perspective when you trust the sound that is actually distortion picture of reality. Delos, with his work about movies, stands here actually for movies, and a great part of my experience and of art I admire. And for my favorite movies, they are There Is No Country for an Old Man and There Will Be Blood. Rhythm science stands here for my friend and also for philosophy. After I graduated from the university, I still kept studying philosophy, and it brought to my life a great friend of mine who spent with me several years reading different. That was a great period for me, because it taught me a lot, and it brought me back the belief to mankind, because that man who told me it's not about money, and it's the free spirit in questioning. So philosophy became quite part of my life, and I entered the PhD program in order to get a PhD in philosophy, and sooner or later I hope it will happen. So, all in all, hello, my name is Bogdan. I'm in different ideas, processes, and open for all sorts of collaborations.